Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live, episode 377. What we are talking about today is how to create a challenge or a focus for your audience. So here is the thing that we all know. When we have got something to focus on, when we've got something to do, it makes our lives feel like we've got a little bit more control. It gives us something to think about, it gives us something to focus on, and we know that your audience is probably feeling a little bit like with everything that's going on. So let me know if this is true for your audience as well, because I know for a lot of people that I've been talking with, hello Tani, they've been feeling like they're, particularly when you find yourself working at home, that there's just these endless amounts of time. I remember 10 years ago when I very first started growing this particular business, I remember feeling like there was heaps of time, there was so many things I wanted to do, and I consequently was pretty unproductive. I was chopping and changing and dancing and looking at a whole range of different things. So I was like, I could do this and I could do this and I could do this, and I'd half finish all of these things, which is part of the reason why this planner became so freaking important. But also the other thing that I think was really helpful, and I've seen it be really helpful for people like yourselves, is that if you've got something to focus on, and if you know the thing that you need to go learn or the thing that you need to go and do, it's a lot easier for you to feel motivated, for you to stay on top of your mood, to reduce the anxiety and to reduce stress and overwhelm. So one of the things that I would like you to think about is, are your people feeling the same? I don't know. Are they? I know you guys are a lot of the time. So what I was writing about yesterday, and you'll be very pleased to know that I've reinstigated my journaling practice, thank God. I think it's really interesting. I think that part of the reason why I hadn't journaled for like 10 days, you guys, which is really naughty. But it also, I think from all the things that I've read, it's kind of like when we find ourselves in times, places, situations where we don't always have a lot of control, sometimes the things that are the easiest kind of fall by the wayside, and we slip back into survival mode. And it's really curious, because I know for me that when I journal, my mood is better, my focus is better, I get ideas that pour out of me and land into the pages. It's where my blogs come out of, it's where my live streams come out of usually. It just makes my life a whole lot easier. So I'm like, man, if I'd only just journaled, I would have felt better. It's a bit like working out. My gym now is like literally 10 steps around the corner, which is maybe, 30 steps from my bedroom. I can just walk into the gym, and I know that my home gym that I've set up, when I work out, I feel better. And I think the thing that we get caught up in is it's too hard. We buy into our procrastination, we buy into the doubts, and we can often buy in, I know for me anyway, that it's like, oh, you know what, I'll do it later. And I don't ever do it later. For me, it's the stuff that I've really got to get done in the mornings in order for everything else to pan out. So what I was thinking about was, well, if this is how I've been, then maybe that's how you guys have been as well. So one of the things that I'd like you to think about are, what are the challenges and what are the things that your people are facing right now? What are they working through? What are they stressed about? What are they overwhelmed about? And I suspect that it's probably trying to fit some sense of, or create some sense of normalcy in their lives and in their worlds, as well as trying to get their things done, as well as perhaps trying to homeschool if that's what they're doing, trying to work out how to make this situation that we find ourselves in, how to make this kind of work. So I came up with something that would help you, I want you to think about how you can model this for your audience. So what I was thinking about, I had a comment on Friday when I was running an online event that was supposed to be done in person up here actually, that one of the people said, oh, Nicola, like, how do you come up with this stuff? You're so creative. And I said, well, for me, I always used to tell myself that I wasn't creative. I never believed that I was creative. But I think the thing that I needed to find out and learn was, how do I access my own creativity? And secondly, the other thing is like, who decided what the definition of creativity is anyway? Because some people are really creative with spreadsheets, which is, I'm really creative in terms of, creating a process and things like that. I am not artistic creative by any stretch of the imagination. I can think in pictures, but the translation of what I see in my brain to what goes on paper just doesn't work. It's actually really quite funny. So what I came up with was a COVID content creativity prompts. So I was thinking yesterday about you. It's like, I know that a lot of you feel like you're not creative. So I thought, right, well, how can I help you access your own creativity? And so I came up with a challenge where every day for the next 30 days, you get a creativity prompt. So one of them is, what's the biggest challenge that your audience is facing? And what are 1 to 3 things that you can suggest to help them? All right. So what is it for you? What are 1 to 3 things that you think that you can talk about and create or suggest for your people to do to help them navigate whatever their biggest challenge is that they're facing right now? The second one is, say the thing that you're most afraid of saying on your page. So you might be really afraid of sharing an opinion. You might be really afraid of going and doing a live. You might be afraid of your peers seeing you where you're sharing an opinion that bucks a trend. Go and share that. Go and talk about it and let yourself out there really and go and do that. The third one, if you could use the next 30 days to nail your online positioning, what are you saying or doing? So for your audience, what's something that they could think about for the next 30 days, right? So if you're thinking about this, then there's different ways that you can roll this out for your people. So the thing that we want to think about is, what are the challenges that your people are facing? I know that a lot of you are feeling creatively stuck. So I've come up with a bunch of 30 different things that can help you get out of your own way. So there's that. The next thing that you want to think about is, how do you want to roll this out to your audience? You could do it via a live stream every day if you wanted to do that. You could build out an email autoresponder series that people opt in. They give you their email address and you send them these hacks, hints, tips, these challenges straight out to their inbox. You could go and create a free Facebook group that is just about whatever the challenge is that you want to create. If you wanted to sell it, then you could sell it. You can go and create. If you've got a PayPal business account, you can go and create a link in the matter of maybe half an hour. It's quicker than that, but you give yourself half an hour if you haven't done it before. And you go in and you'll go into tools, you go into buttons, create a new button, and then you'll get a big long link and you can use that. And you could have people pay you for joining your challenge. The thing that you always want to think about though is, what's the problem that people are facing and how can you solve that problem with what you're doing? So the other thing that you might want to think about, I like to think of it like a 30-day challenge, because challenge to me is like bang, 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 bang. It's a little bit like, let's get things moving, let's get things going. Whereas some people are like, I don't really want a challenge. I just want the journal prompts. So you might not use the word challenge. You might use something different that helps you to communicate what it is that you want to do. You might call it something different. So create a challenge for your people. And it can be as simple as opening up your journal and writing 4 words, 4 sentences, 4 lines about what the first one's going to be. And then the second thing, all right, what's the next challenge that people are facing? How could I help them? What's the next challenge that people are facing? How can I help them? And then give them some prompts, some tips, some steps, an activity, anything that you could possibly think about. And then it's just a matter of rolling it out. What this does for you is it adds value to your audience. So it helps them to see that you're in tune with where they're at. It helps your audience to start taking steps forward before they've even paid you any money, right? So it helps them to move forward. It helps them to get a result in advance before they've invested with you. And that goes a hell of a long way, my friends. Like it really helps people to see, you know, what you're about, what you're like, and that you get it and that you're willing to help them. And then you keep building that reputation. You keep building these pieces of value. The next thing that does is that when you are ready to start selling or start selling again, then you've already gone and established a whole lot of goodwill that's helpful, that's filled with value, that's helped people get results in advance. They're more likely then to say, you know what, I totally get it and I totally love you, and you know what you're now wanting to sell, it makes complete sense, you know, I'm in. So a challenge, a short challenge, is something that can be extra helpful for your audience to really get to know you and to get results in advance. It helps to establish your positioning. It helps people to see that you are an expert in your audience and what you do. So it's got multifacets. It helps them, it helps you. It's good for them, it's good for you, it's good for the greater good, and it just helps you to put out a whole lot of value out into the marketplace. So there you go. Go launch a challenge. Go do that today. Go brainstorm a bunch of things that you could share, that you could say, that you could do for your people. Go launch it, get it out there, and let me know how you go. So short, sharp, and shiny for today. Get out there. Go help some people. Have a whole ton of fun doing it. And remember, the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. I will talk with you tomorrow.